We're going to begin with some gentle breathing warm-up exercises, seated. So obviously being pregnant, we're going to take things as far and as much as the body responds to. So really listen to your body here. We're going to sit as tall as we can, obviously depending on how big your bump is at the moment, and taking the hands behind the thighs. And see if you can use your biceps to lengthen through the crown of the head and sit nice and tall. And from here, you're going to inhale through the nose. Just allow yourself to gently roll back to where feels okay for you without rounding the spine too much. So you just want this gentle tuck at the tailbone. Exhale to stay. And then inhale, connect baby towards your back. So draw your belly button towards your spine. You can use the arms as well to help you. Inhale, draw all the way back up. Exhale, roll back. So you're just rolling the pelvis away from your femur bones here. Depending on where you're at, you just don't want to go too far into spinal flexion. So we're just trying to get this gentle tilt and activation of the pelvic floor and TA here. Exhale to roll back. Inhale to find length. Now we can play around with this by gently hinging now. So rather than rolling the pelvis away from the femur bones, I want you to hinge and shine the heart up and the chest open. And then exhale, come up. Inhale, hinge. Keeping that ribs to hips connection. Exhale, lengthen through the crown of the head and grow taller as you come up. Now you can change your breath pattern if you wish. If it helps you connect deeper into your abdominals. Exhale, hinge. And inhale to lengthen up. So your breath pattern, what feels better for you. If you're able to, you can challenge a little bit here by just coming to the fingertips, or maybe placing one arm forward or both arms. Good. And then inhale to lengthen. And then just taking the soles of the feet to face each other, the knees nice and wide. Take a gentle rest here, just breathing into the back, allowing the belly to soften, the head to roll forward, and the hips to be heavy. Good. We're going to start to warm up the triceps. So the arms are an important part of postnatal as well, because we're going to be lifting bub quite a lot, and we're not sure how heavy bub's going to be. So from here, knees stay bent, feet are flat on the floor. Your tailbone is sitting on the floor. We just don't want to sink into the shoulders here, so really press the earth away from you as you shine your heart and chest forward. Keeping elevated here, we're going to just gently lift up the pelvis off the floor. Now the elbows bend straight back in space, and then we straighten. Now you can choose how difficult you make this by either pressing the legs out away from you or further towards you. So the more flexion you have, the more length you're going to get through an activation through that tricep. But also remember that you've got a lot of weight forward of you here. So you want to really listen to the body and just respect what the body is asking of you and what it can do. So we want about 10 to 15 reps here. Good, we're going to go for 5 more. Remembering to breathe. Noticing if we were sinking into the shoulders. Good, if you've got weak wrists, please eliminate this exercise. Good, last 2. Keep drawing bub towards your back. And 1. Gently release the tailbone down. Take the soles of the feet together. Gently lift forward and just take a gentle lengthening forward. So rather than rounding the spine here, we're just going to try and lengthen, and using the hands around the ankles, just find space into the lower back. Maybe rolling the shoulders, releasing the wrists as well if that feels good for you. Now, as with all of these exercises, you can repeat these 2 to 3 times. From here, we're going to gently move onto our side. Now, depending again how big bump is, you can place a pillow just gently onto your side so that you can rest belly here. What we don't want to eliminate is that activation of the core still, so your obliques are still working. So I'm going to remove the pillow just to show you what I mean by that. So as we stack our pelvis, we want our 2 front hip bones here nice and stacked, so we're not rolling back. Knees are bent forward, heels are in line with our tailbone, ready for our side lying. Now we want to be lifting up through the side waist here. So you should be able to slide your hand underneath your side waist. Option to take the fingertips to the floor, or just down by your side, or reach them up towards the ceiling. And then from here, squeezing the heels together, you're going to open that top knee without rolling back with the pelvis. So we're keeping this stacked. This does not move. This part of the pelvis does not move. So we're just externally rotating the hip here, really squeezing the heels together to get into those external rotators. So your glute med and glute min. Good. Without pushing out through the belly, staying nice and lifted. So again, use that pillow underneath you if you need some more support. Sometimes I even like to hold my belly if it's getting a bit heavy. Of course, we don't want to strain the ligaments of the abdominals or the uterus at this point. Good. And then from here, you're going to hold it up. So 10 to 15 reps is all you need to do. If you're playing along at home, I think we've done about 12. Good. And then we're going to hold it back up there, and we're just going to pulse back. So we're just going to butterfly pulse that top knee, staying connected with the abdominals, keeping the shoulders relaxed. So even we're stable here, but we're isolating and working down here. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Lower down. Have a little rest. You should hopefully feel a little bit of warmth in that glute. And then from here, we're going to start to separate. So we're just lifting and lowering, still feeling that external rotation, but separating the heels now. Now you go as high as that feels comfortable, that you can maintain this stability here. So where you want to be feeling it is really back here rather than the front. So you can move the knees and legs back in space if you're feeling too much in the front of the hip. You hopefully shouldn't be. You should be feeling it right here like I am. Good. You always have the option to add on pulses here as well. So you stay up and then just pulse up here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lowering all the way down. You can give that glute a bit of a punch out if you've started to feel it. And then we're going to gently straighten that leg, staying nice and connected. And just lift that leg to hip height and flexing the foot. And then from here, again, we're just going to gently pulse up. So if this lever is too much for you, just come back into bent knee and come back into your slight pulses. So just listening to the body for 10. Staying with the breath. If you start to strain around the calf, just relax the ankle. And 1, and come all the way down, punching that out. Staying on this side, we're going to come into our side planks. So you're going to come up onto the forearm, making sure that the shoulder is in line with the wrist. And then option here to keep both knees bent or extend the top leg. If you're earlier on in your pregnancy and you have the stability and strength, both legs extended is available to you. I'm 35 weeks, so I'm going to stay with both knees bent for now. Now again, stacking the pelvis, what we want to do here is just lift up and down, keeping nice and stable. So exhale up, inhale down. Now that top hand can come down for support if you're needing it, or you can bring it up or down to the hip or the side of the body. Good. If you want an extra challenge, you can lower and lift the arm. We're really lifting the hip height, trying to gently keep this nice and stacked. Good. 4 more. 3, 2. You're doing good. And 1. Gently lowering all the way down. Gently pushing yourself up and coming onto the other side. If you wish, you can even take a rest here or come back into your tricep dips before moving on to your side lying on the other side. So coming down when you're ready. Just going to move my mic out of the way. Preparing ourselves for clam. So again, pillow underneath the belly if needed, heels in line with your tailbone, knees forward and stacked, pelvis nice and stacked, and we open as we exhale, inhale to lower. Good. Remember, we can go up to 15 reps if you want, and even more if you feel that you want a bit more burn through that booty. Really pressing the heels in towards each other. You've got 3 more. You can always float the top arm up if you want. 2 and 1, being careful not to sink into that side waist as we begin to butterfly that knee open. Good. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep going to 15 if you wish. Otherwise, you're going to lower down and we come onto our open clam. Good. So try and keep the ankle in line with the knee. In the upper body relaxed, but not forgetting about that side waist. Good. We're not trying to overexert ourselves in prenatal Pilates. We're trying to find stability and strength. And obviously working on some flexibility, maintaining mobility where possible. Good. Holding it up there, and we pulse here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I can feel that burn already. 3, 2, and 1. Gently lowering down, extending that leg. Rest if you need and punch out that glute. And then just lifting up to hip height, holding it there, either flexing or pointing the foot, and then pulsing up here. So try and lengthen out rather than sink into this side waist. Try and keep this distance here. They don't need to be high pulses, just small ones. And again, relax the ankle if you start to feel any tension through the lower limb. 3, 2, and 1. Bending and releasing and giving that a punch out. Gently going to lift ourselves up onto the forearm. Taking your version, so both legs extended, top leg extended or both knees bent, and getting ready for our side plank. Good. Just going to adjust myself here. 2, 3, and we lift the arm up if you want. 4, 5, 6. We're not looking for a bend, we're just looking for a side plank. So nice and strong through those obliques. Again, if you feel like you're pushing out through the belly, best not to continue this exercise. Good. Last 2. And 1. Good job. Come all the way down and then gently lifting yourself back up. Taking a restorative pose here. And taking some deep breaths. And we're going to stretch out those glutes. So coming on back to your seated position, sitting just back, taking the right leg or right ankle over the left thigh and just gently allowing yourself to stretch through. Nice to hold stretches like this for about 15 seconds if you can. And as with any prenatal exercise, make sure you're resting and listening to your body. If your heart rate seems to go too high or you get shortness of breath, switching over now, it's best to stop and rest. And we're just going to finish with spine stretch forward now. So legs are going to be nice and separate, wider than hip distance. And you're going to sit nice and tall on your sitting bones. So if you need to, if you're feeling like you're too short in your hamstrings, or you just like the comfort of a more stress-free position for your pelvis, then find yourself sitting on that pillow or block. And then from here, fingertips in front, we inhale, find length through the spine. And we exhale to just gently nod the chin and begin to roll forward with the spine without compressing through the abdomen too much, just coming into a gentle stretch. So without prenatal shell stretch, it's a very more elongated movement of the upper torso. Because we have baby, we're just going to gently find that length out of the lower back and the stretch for the back muscles of the spine without compressing the abdomen too much. We inhale to begin to stack the spine all the way back up, chin parallel to the floor. We exhale, begin to nod the chin. So similar to a standing roll down, but just seated. Inhaling and then exhaling to stack it all the way back up. Thanks for joining me.